So it's Tuesday the 21st of April, it's about 7:30. I actually woke up around 5:30 this morning, so a little bit earlier than normal. So I had breakfast in the house, salmon and avocado on a bagel. It was pretty awesome. And now I'm outside the office. Now, I'm not in the underground parking as I normally would be. You can see I'm actually parked on the street. That's our building just there. Don't know if you can see that. That's our building there. So I'm parked on the street. I've been wondering for a little while whether there's still parking attendants out and whether people are getting tickets, so I thought I'd park on the street, not pay for any parking and see what happens basically. And I guess it gives you something interesting to watch, a little bit of a change of scenery as well. So I'm gonna head in. You know, the markets are looking pretty quiet this week, unfortunately, so I'm not sure we'll actually get in any trades. A few pound pairs look like they're getting ready to roll over to the downside, and the DAX is kind of in between quite a strong resistance level and a trend line, so you know that's kind of going to be the main focus this week. I think gold's looking all right as well, so a couple of things to watch, but I'm not really sure if anything's going to materialize this week. But I'll update you on the markets when we actually get into the building. We're also moving office very, very soon, right? So I'm going to give you a little preview of the office we're moving into and a little insight into what the layout's going to be like and stuff like that, and kind of the reasoning behind why we're making this move from a financial point of view as well. Give you a little bit more of the business kind of business side of things. I put a poll out on my Instagram yesterday, basically asking what you would like to see on YouTube, and a lot of people were saying like more business stuff. So I guess we're going to try and include a little bit more business stuff, trading as well. But I guess a lot of people are interested in business because a lot of people want to start their own business. And you know, being that I'm quite a young business owner and in the UK, I think there's a lot of interesting stuff to touch on. So without letting this run on too long, I'm going to get into the office and I'll update you when I get there. So just as it happens, the other trader who's actually on my floor, he happens to be an oil trader as well. And if you didn't see last night, oil went all the way to zero. In fact, on some charts, it was actually below zero. Oil actually went negative for the first time in history. And I know that Charlie really likes cappuccino, so I picked him up some cappuccinos today, some instant cappuccinos, and I've left him a little note just saying, basically, sorry the oils went to zero, here's some coffee to cheer him up. So hopefully that lifts his spirits at some point today. Nice to be nice, as I always say. Gonna grab this coffee and get in and look at the charts. So I honestly think this week's gonna be pretty slow. However, we are on the DXY as I kind of expected. We broke up out of that 99.50 handle, and it looks like after making a lower high, or looking like we were going to make a lower high, we are actually going to push up and challenge that box that I kind of outlined earlier in the week. Okay, so in the last clip I was actually on the phone to one of the sales team who kind of run this building and the building across from us. Now, as I explained earlier in the video, sort of at the start of this video, we're in the process of looking for a new space to kind of expand our operation a little bit. And I know it's obviously not an ideal time in the world in terms of everything that's going on, and you know, most businesses aren't operational, but we are. And I think that, you know, I was kind of in two minds about whether this would be a good time to make that move, to make that transition, to upscale the operation whilst everything is sort of on pause. And part of me was saying, you know, everything's on pause, there's no point in doing this, you know, it could potentially be a risky move from a business point of view. But an overwhelming sort of voice in the back of my head was saying, we're still operational, we're still profitable, and we're pretty much unaffected by this. So it's potentially the best time to start making these sort of expansive moves when everybody else is sort of winding down, we can start to speed up. And you know, something that I'm a big believer in and something I say a lot is there's a time to walk and there's a time to run. And I often find that when everybody else is sort of slowing down, when people are afraid, stuff like that, is usually when the yield and the opportunity in the situations that present themselves to you is the largest, right? And you know, we've been looking at a couple of spaces, and one or two have really caught my eye. Now, the space we're currently in doesn't really have any windows. It's a 3-person office, and there's obviously only 2 of us working out of the office at the minute. But we have already plans to start taking on more staff. We have a few other guys working for us, but just none in the office. But we already have plans to start bringing a few people in and upscaling the operation slightly. And yeah, I mean, the space that we're looking at is 4 times the cost of our current space. It's going to cost about £2,500 a month, including parking. So £2,500 a month. It's quite a lot to put out in expenses. I want to make our service as good as possible, and that means moving into a bigger space, taking on some extra people to run things. You know, whether it's customer service and, you know, getting members signed up and stuff like that. I want to make KB Trading one of the best, if not the best, in this industry, and I want there to be no stone left unturned. I want there to be no half measures, no shortcuts. I want to invest as much of the revenue that customers are generating, clients are generating. I want to invest as much of that back into the business as possible, so that we can have a flawless business, so that we can have a flawless system, a perfect community. You know, people aren't left too long waiting for replies to emails. You know, questions are answered, etc., etc. And I just want to make sure that it's as streamlined and as perfect as possible. And I want to give you an insight into that. You know, a lot of people are saying they want to see more of a business side of things, and I'm very transparent about the way I operate. I'm very transparent about my thinking and stuff like that, and I think that's why a lot of people really enjoy these videos. And I think in terms of business, I think there's no harm in being transparent with my plans and what we're looking to do here. I already spoke about in the Q&A, we have plans to have members trade for us in our fund, and this is sort of the next step in that process. So just quickly grabbing some lunch, and then I'm just going to open up my laptop. I've got some emails and stuff to do before I actually head home for the day. The time is currently 20 to 4, and I'm actually getting ready to sort of sign off for the day and head home. As I predicted this morning, there's very little happening in the markets other than some moves on pound pairs rolling over to the downside as I expected. And I'll overlay just a clip now of the setup that I'm looking at on pound yen. So effectively what we have is price breaking out of a key support level where we have sort of triple bottom support. And I'm looking for a retest of that support level from underneath as resistance, looking for a 61.8 fib confluence. You know, we've got a trend line in there, and we've got the 40 period moving average as well, hopefully coming in, drifting in just around that grey box as well. Looking to ride that to the downside for around about 5%, just over 5%, and with a 65 pip stop. So I'm currently still looking at pound yen and cable. So if I take you over onto my charts, very similar setup across both. So on my right here you've got cable, and on my left you have pound yen, and effectively we're still looking for that pullback into significant support, and potentially looking for a rollover to the downside. If anybody's wondering how I have my chart set up here, I've got, you know, so both of these are pound yen. One is a 4 hour, one is a 60 minute, and it's the exact same on cable here. I've got a 4 hour and a 60 minute, and all that's doing is it's just allowing me to very quickly see sort of scaled in price action, what price is actually doing. Obviously the 4 hour is where my analysis is, what I've analysed on, and I'm using the 1 hour just to look for confirmations and signs that price might be ready to roll over. Now I'm about to head out to the shop and grab something for lunch, and then I'll update you when I actually take entry on these positions. So I have my alerts set on both pound yen and on cable, and I'm taking this opportunity to just step out of the office and get a little bit of work done on our advanced trader course. So, I spoke about it in another video, just breaking up your day and try not to stay too focused on one task for an extended period of time. I think, a big problem that a lot of new traders have is burning out very quickly. They're so eager to trade that they'll just sit in front of the markets for hours on end, just looking for a trade. And now that I've found those trades that I want to be in, there's no reason for me to still be sitting there, right? There's no reason for me to have to be in front of those charts. I can put in my alerts. If price hits the levels, I'll do business from them. I'm not too eager to jump in at a lower price than what I've set out on my chart. So, take some time out, get a cup of green tea, and do a little bit of work on the course. So it's currently 1:30, and I'm probably going to work on the course for another hour or so, and then head back in to the office. So I'm going to get on with this now, and I'll catch up with you if we end up taking those trades. Right, another boring week in the markets. I think I kind of jinxed it yesterday when I said, this is potentially going to be a boring week. But both pound pairs looked like they were starting to make a little bit of an impulsive move to the downside, and now we're seeing some exhaustion of said move, and we're potentially just going to see a last leg to the upside before then seeing the bigger rollover that we kind of anticipated. Now, there's very little point in me being here. There's only 45 minutes left in the London session, and if this move is going to happen, especially on pound yen, it's probably going to happen into the Asia session. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pack up, I'm going to take my laptop home, and I'm just going to chill out from home, keep an eye on these pairs, and there's no point in me being here in the office when nothing's actually happening, when I can take my laptop home, have a beer in the garden, and monitor the charts from there. So I'm going to reply to a few more emails, do a little bit of admin stuff for the office, and then pack up and head home. And hopefully I'll catch up with you either when I'm at home or when I'm back in the office tomorrow, ready to take some trades. So I'll catch up with you when we have a little bit of a change of scenery. Okay, so actually just getting ready to head home now, and I'm probably going to stop off at the shops, grab some beers or something like that, and just have a chill night tonight. Obviously I'm still watching both that pound yen and that position on cable as well, but for now I'm just not really looking to take anything. I think if I stayed in the office I would be more, sorry, just turn that up. I think if I stayed in the office, I would just be more inclined to force trades that weren't there. And for that reason, I think it's better just to kind of call it a day, come home and monitor it from a bit of a more relaxed environment. It does get quite sort of stuffy in there. And, after a while, you start to get, your performance just starts to fail. So for that reason, I'm just going to call it a day. It's about 4:30, 4:45. And just heading home now. So I'll catch up with you when I get home, or tomorrow morning when we're actually heading into the office. So I appear to have obtained the last Coronas in the world. Literally, I don't know why, but no supermarket seems to be getting it in. I don't know if they've maybe noticed a dip in sales since this happened, since the coronavirus kicked off. But Sainsbury's had none, Tesco had none, Asda had none, and the Co-op which I'm at just now, I asked the manager and he had one case of it through the back. So what can you do? Pretty strange. But gonna go home, crack open a beer, get back onto the charts, and then I'll most likely catch up with you tomorrow when we're heading into the office, and hopefully we can get into some trades tomorrow. So I'll keep you updated on that, and I'll catch up with you when we're trading. It's Thursday the 23rd of April, and it's actually just gone 8 AM, right? So I'm running pretty late this morning. This is actually the first time I've slept in a long time, like unintentionally. Usually I'm up just before 6. Alarm set for 6, usually end up waking up about 4:45, or sometimes even 5:30. So don't know what's up with me this morning, but ended up, sleeping straight through my alarm. Unfortunately, this coincides with what looks like pound yen getting ready to set up. So I really need to kind of try and get into the office now, get my head onto the charts, and see if I can take this pound yen trade. Now, I'm not a big advocate of jumping in at the start of the London session. I'm not a big advocate of jumping in at the start of any session, because I think you can see a lot of manipulation at the beginning of a session, usually in the first hour, as the big guys come in and try to kind of push price the way they want it. Whether they're looking to get long, they try and kind of force price down a little bit, get a bit of a better price. So typically a little bit of manipulation can occur between 8 and 9 in my own personal experience. But we're heading in now. I'm going to get onto the charts, I'm going to write up my trading plan and get on this live with the members, and we'll probably end up taking pound yen live with the members, just given the way the setup looks like it's beginning to set up. Now, I'm aware that this is going to be like the third day in this day in the life, and the last two haven't really been that in depth or going over anything, so I'm going to try and make this one a little bit more interesting, and see if we can get that entertainment value up just even a little bit. So I'll catch up with you guys when we get onto the charts. So the time is coming up for about 8:15, and I've just arrived at the office. It's our office building just there. So I'm already running a little bit late. I'm going to need to pretty much jump into the office and get straight into the charts. There's a setup on pound yen already sort of setting itself up, and I really don't want to miss it. So I'm going to jump into the office now, and I'll catch up with you when I'm grabbing coffee before we hit the charts. First trade of the day, I've taken shorts, first trade of the week actually. I've taken shorts on the DAX on a breakout of this smaller ascending counter trend line in line with a slightly larger overall downtrend. We've also got a 38.2 fib rejected in there, broken below the EMA, and we're obviously rejecting some prior structure here as well. This is a bit of a higher risk entry. I was initially, as you see, I was anticipating shorts below this double bottom structure. However, I was actually happy to take a 0.5% risk trade just in this area here on a rejection of that. So we're in 0.5%. Once we get below this, we'll look to enter another 0.5%. Pound yen, is still sort of ranging in this area. We're really looking for price to push up and retest that 61.8 with that trend line confluence and the EMA, as well as some structure in there, looking to short it from there. If pound yen does decide to make its move to the downside, from here, we will simply look to enter on a break and retest of that ascending counter trend line in here, which is look to ride it down, stops above the highs, and take it down into that -27 there. So nice and simple. We've got a couple of contingency plans there in case this trade doesn't pan out the way we think it will. But for now, focus really is on the DAX to try and see a continuation to the downside later today. Now, if we come over onto the economic calendar, we can see that this morning we have had some fairly negative news come out in Germany on PMI, which obviously led to a little bit of a 1 hour impulsive move to the downside here on the DAX. But I'll keep you updated, just dispersion golfing here, but I'll keep you updated as we go throughout the day. Okay, so the time is about 2 PM. I'm just sitting down to have my lunch, so it's like spicy chicken breast and some mashed potato. And then after this, I'm gonna head back through. I've got a load of Instagram DMs to reply to. So it says 99 plus. There's really about 200 there. Although I do get back to all of them, there is a little bit of delay between you messaging me and me actually getting back. I'll put my Instagram up if you do want to get in contact with me about anything. Instagram is the best way to do that. Now, I do appreciate that these vlogs aren't super interesting. There's not a lot of stuff going on. Obviously, being that the UK is on lockdown, I can only go to work or the shop. That's the only places I'm allowed to go. However, when we come out the back end of this sort of lockdown, I'm probably going to go on holiday, and I'll take you along and show you what that's like, being a trader on holiday, a kind of day in the life in that environment as well. So I'm going to eat this. I'm going to get back onto the charts, and then I'm going to spend probably an hour to an hour and a half just replying to your direct messages, and then I'll catch up with you when we're doing that. So I've just been stopped out of that trade on the DAX for, I don't know if you can see that, let me just see if I can get this focused, for minus 0.5%, which is minus £500. I'm really not that bothered. Last week I made 5% for the week. This week I've lost 0.5%. It's not a big deal. You know, trading isn't about being right on every trade. It's not about being right every day. It's not even about winning every week. It's about being right over time, and it's about being bigger when you're right than you are when you're wrong, right? So, you know, I'm not going to take any more trades for today or for the rest of this week. I'm going to take a step back and come back next week, come back stronger, come back with a fresh mindset, a fresh set of eyes. You know, I called it earlier in the video. I said I felt like this was going to be a boring week, and sure enough, it has been. We only managed to get in one trade, and it ended up, we ended up taking a hit, and it ended up being a loser. So, yeah, you know, not really anything we can do about it. Tomorrow, I've got to come in to do some more stuff for moving into the new office, and I've also got a group call with 8 or 9 of our members to go over journals. I gave them all a little task to complete for the week, and we're going to go into that and look at that a little bit tomorrow. In around 5 minutes, I have to go downstairs to reception and sign the agreement for our new space as well, which is really exciting. So I've spent a lot of today negotiating price and stuff like that on that new office. So I'm really excited to showing you the move-in process, how we set up the office, and yeah, I'm actually just really looking forward to it. So I'm going to get on with journaling that trade, wrapping up for the day, and I'll catch up with you guys in a bit. So in front of me I have the agreement for the bigger office space downstairs that we're moving into. Now, I'm just so excited to get this signed. I'm going to get this signed and handed in, and then tomorrow we're going to start moving in furniture ready for our move-in date, which is actually May 1st. Now, the first payment on this contract is $4,500, which is a lot of money, but you know, that's the cost of business. And to be honest, I'm so excited about this move-in and about the rate of progression, the rate of growth that KB Trading is actually seeing, that's pretty much all that matters to me at the minute. You know, it seems like only a few months ago we moved into this space and we thought that this was huge, we thought this was such a big move, and already there's just that demand and that need to actually expand our operation. You know, I'm so happy, and you know, it couldn't have come at a better time that, you know, we started making these day in the lives and stuff like that, and you're just getting to actually see me document our journey as we progress. So next week we're going to be moving all the stuff in, the office is getting decorated and stuff like that, so you're going to see all of that. I'm really excited to take you along on that journey. So I'm going to get this signed, I'm going to check in with the members before I leave the office, and then I'm going to go home and open a beer to celebrate. I appreciate that this has been a little bit more of a boring day in the life. We've not really been up to much, there's not been any good trades or anything like that to really talk about, but you know, I'm glad to be documenting this sort of stage in my life, this stage in my journey. So if you have enjoyed it, and if you do appreciate that, and you're sort of as excited as I am about what the future holds, please subscribe, you know, drop a like, and make sure to stay in touch. You know, watch this space. Things are going to get really interesting around here very quickly. So take care, guys. Thanks as always, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Cheers.